Welcome everybody. This week we've been focusing on the watch build from Metro Exodus and a little bit of progress on the Kunai. Unfortunately there's been some shipping delays, but it's spring and you know what that means, spring cleaning. We can start with the Kunai, because honestly, so little's been done on it that it's barely worth talking about. I did manage to get the bits, the mill bits, from Amazon. They did come in, but one piece of the precision side of things has not, which is the vise. I still kind of want to try these out anyway, so as a caveat to this is probably not overly safe. Make sure if you ever try this to use a vise. My vise isn't in yet. I'm just wanting to try these guys out. In the interest of seeing if my idea will even work, let's just use one of these guys and see what happens. So if you look at the 3D print version of this guy, you'll see that there's actually a little bevel from the blade edge into the center of the blade here. Trying to replicate that in a metal version is tough. In theory, here's hoping, I'll be able to kind of jimmy rig my drill press into a sort of milling machine that I need for my project. So this might not be the safest setup, but strictly for testing purposes, I think this will do. So this is what we're starting with. This is where the lack of the actual vise comes into play, but as you could see, it's actually working. I'm actually really surprised how well it's working. This is unhardened steel, obviously, but yeah, as obviously I tried to pull the line straight from this hole to this hole, and yeah, it's not straight, obviously, because there's no vise, but it definitely milled it. So I would say, as a cheap and dirty way to mill, this could actually work. So I'm really looking forward to getting my vise next week, and I could actually practice a little bit of milling here, and we could hopefully finish that kunai. So we have the watch and the main board, and what we're going to do here is we're going to solder on the battery terminal, the time chip, and I'm going to hold off on the buttons, but I'm going to start putting in, as I drop it, I'm going to start putting in the LED screens, or LED displays as well for this guy. So So the trick with these guys, they have some lettering on the side. You want to make sure that the code numbers or the lettering are facing the left or the bottom of the watch. The bottom of the watch is the way the battery holder is. So it's spring. So what does that usually mean? Spring cleaning. Easy, right? So a side note about Castlevania, hearts don't actually give you life. Always check for wall chicken. Uncle Vlad's wall chicken. Oh no. Let's be honest here. Cleaning isn't easy on the best of days. Normally I actually enjoy doing stuff like this. But here's my problem. I just don't know where to put things. Imagine this. Tomorrow, you're starting a new hobby. Let's just say it's painting. It doesn't matter which one it is, but we'll use painting as an example. You decided this was going to be your hobby because you took a class or went over a friend's place or something, and it really resonated with you, and you're starting this hobby tomorrow. Now, you're super excited, you came back home, and now you have to set up your workspace. What do? Now the logical thing would be to do a little bit of research, get the bare essentials that you would need to start the hobby, and start there. That's fine and dandy. Now imagine you've been doing this hobby for a few months, you're better at it, but now you want to make this one piece of art. The problem is, you need a special paintbrush to do this one piece of art that's been in your head for a while. Great. You go out, get the paintbrush, you go do that painting. But now, you have this extra paintbrush. Now, you don't want to get rid of this extra paintbrush, because you might do the similar painting or with a similar technique someday. So, you find a spot to put it, and that way you have it in case you never need to do that painting again. Now repeat this 20 times. Now you have to start finding a place to put all these paintbrushes. So you start making your paintbrush holder. Now you know you have 20 paintbrushes. Do you buy a paint holder with just 20 spots? Or do you know that because you've had to get 20 paintbrushes, you're going to get maybe 25? Or a 30 paintbrush holder. Now imagine, instead of paintbrushes, you have to work with tools, or things that take up a lot more space. And you have to figure out how to power these tools, and work with them safely and efficiently. Now you know my dilemma. Now you see, I think my hobby is turned into collecting hobbies, and making things. But I need to find a place to put everything. Now not all of my hobbies require physical space to do things, but on the flip side they take up time, which is another finite resource. I was hoping to have this figured out by the end of the week, but I realized I'm going to need more time and a plan. I've said it before, this year is going to be a year of change for me, and I realized I have to have a way to refocus myself on my goals as changes happen in my life. After a little bit of reading, here's what I came up with. I've made a here's what I'm doing now list. Here's what's on it. I'm a full-time husband and student. I just finished a 15-year career and I'm back to school now. And if you're a student, you might realize that being a student is actually more work than working full-time somewhere. Because when you finish work, usually you're done work. When you're done school, you still have to do homework and study and all that. I'm going to be growing in my blacksmithing and 3D printing fabrication by making things from the video games I love. I'm going to be making weekly videos for this channel about my life, my journey, and the things I'm making, working on my storytelling and my videography skills. And I'm accepting new opportunities that are related to my channel that help me grow. So, even when the whole world is in chaos around you, you can sit down, write a plan, and be able to refocus on that plan whenever you want. So let me get this place cleaned up, and we'll be back next week, hopefully with a finished kunai and a finished Metro watch. Stay tuned.